What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Russell here, and I am bringing you another 1v1 cast. It is a Silver League game, I believe, and we saw a little misclick from Justin there, trying to break up his workers, but doing it to the wrong side. And as we can see, we do have it is a PvP. In the top right, we have Justinshi as the red Protoss, and in the bottom left, we have TuckingFypo as the blue Protoss. So both players going for the standard opening pro build, which is basically what you want to be doing as a newer player. If you do not know what to do, basically what you want to be doing as a newer player is pressing the pro button if you are a Protoss, which is basically clicking the Nexus and pressing the E button. And we see Justin getting himself supply blocked early on in the game, throwing down that pylon a little late. And do we see the same thing from Tucking? No, Tucking throwing his pylon down just at the correct time, not getting supply blocked, and if he was, it was only for a split second, if that. And he is chrono boosting out those two workers, and since I do this a lot with the build that I usually go as a Protoss player, I'm going to assume Tucking is going to go for the 4 gate, and he is putting down his gateway up at the 12-13 mark. And he is chrono boosting one more time for one probe. Nope, 2 probes, okay. And he is sending a scout out. And we see Justinshi putting down his gateway at about the 13 mark also. But he is now getting another probe, and he is throwing down the assimilator. And we have Tucking also throwing down the assimilator. So we are seeing pretty much identical standard builds from both players. And Tucking scouting the wrong way in the first position, but he is going to scout Justin before he scouts himself. Well, before Justin scouts Tucking. And I'm sorry if my voice is a little bit, actually I believe I'm losing my voice, so because of this flippin' sickness I've got going on or whatever. And we see Justin throwing down a cyber core. And do we see the same thing from Tucking? And no, Tucking does not have his cyber core down yet, but he is at 20 out of 26. And yes, there we go, we see the cyber core going down now. And where did he... No, Tucking, yes, where is that second pylon for him? Where did he place that? I can't find it. I don't know why. I must be blind or something like that. Oh, there it is. It's right there. Okay, yes, I was extremely blind. Disregard exactly what I said. He's building it. He has 2 more probes queued up, throwing down a second gateway. Using this probe, and yes, he is now just scouting this probe. I believe he has already scouted. So if we go to yep, he did already scout. So we are seeing him now starting to chrono boost out that warp gate research, and he is getting out a stalker to basically prevent Justin from scouting whatsoever. And he has not scouted anything yet for Tucking. And Tucking seeing what's going on in this stalker. Oh, stalker coming out just at the right time to destroy this probe, and this probe will not be able to escape. Going right through the mineral line. Nope, not through the mineral line, and the probe is down. And Justin still having no idea where Tucking is, and this stalker will basically prevent Justin from getting any scouting in. And we still only see 2 gateways down, and he is supply blocked, so we should be seeing another pylon going down. Yep, another pylon. 1 more gateway, 2 more gateways, so we are seeing Tucking going for the 4 gate, and we are also seeing Justin throwing down 2 more gateways. So, yep, both players going for the 4 gate, but unfortunately, Justin's 4 gate is going to be a little bit off than Tucking, so Tucking will have an advantage here by having his 4 gate out a little bit earlier. But it all depends on who pushes out first, because a defensive 4 gate, depending on the units you warp in, if you get at least 1 sentry for a defensive 4 gate to block off this ramp, a defensive 4 gate will push back an offensive 4 gate as long as the 4 gates are both basically at the exact same time, like if they finish almost the exact same time. And Warp Tech is finished, and he is pumping out a sentry and a stalker without warping them, and I believe the moment these are done, we will see them turn into warp gates. And yes, we are seeing all of them being turned into warp gates, and he is throwing down another pylon, and we are seeing Justin now moving out a little bit with 3 stalkers and a probe. So yes, Justin will be moving out first to attack. So if we do see Tucking move out before, but he is supply blocked, so if we see him warping units right here and right now and decide to move out, they will intersect each other, and it will be a battle of epic proportions, because we have 6 stalkers versus 5 Stalkers, 2 Sentries, and a Zealot. So with these Sentries and the Zealots using the Guardian Shield, it would more likely be that Justin will be destroyed. We are seeing a pylon being placed right here, and yep, Justin will be putting down that forward pylon to do damage to Justin. Well, I'm sorry, to do damage to Tucking. I just want to say how his name is supposed to be, but it's a wordplay, so I'm not really going to say it. I'm pretty sure you guys can just flip the F and the T around and figure out exactly what it means. And will we be seeing some units being warped in here? And yes, we are seeing 1, 2, 3 Stalkers and 1 Zealot. If you are going against a Protoss player and you are foregating, a better composition to do is like maybe half Stalkers, half Zealots, because Zealots are able to take the damage from these Stalkers, because Stalkers take extra damage from other Stalkers. And we are seeing, are we going to see some force fields? Force fields breaking these up, but not very good force fields. So we're seeing a blast force field and a blast force field. What he should have done is basically made a line in between all of them. And we are seeing these Stalkers having to block off. Is he going to force field them? Yep, the Stalkers are not going to get anywhere. And he will be pushing into Justin's, and he's forcing fielding himself in here. And he is warping down 2 Stalkers to basically try and take this out by itself. And he will be taking out this pylon. And Justin is backing up wisely. What he needs to be doing is warping in more units over at his main base instead of just basically sitting there. And he is taking it in an expansion. This is not very smart for Justin to be doing, because he doesn't know if Tucking is moving out. If Tucking was not to move out for a while and make it a macro-based game, getting this Nexus here would be the best option. But for what Tucking should be doing, Tucking should be the one getting the expansion, not Justin. So Justin doing a fail move here, going to be losing this expansion, losing this pylon, because there are not enough units to deal with this, and all of these Stalkers being just focusing down the Zealot, and yep, they are now going to basically easily clean this up. Justin needs to cancel this and warp in some more units, so like warp in a Sentry to block that ramp off. And no, Justin calling the GG because he did not cancel this and because he decided to put that there, and Justin calling the GG and Tucking taking this pretty much by a landslide because of Justin's mistake of getting the Nexus here. If Justin was smarter, he would have gotten the Nexus a little bit earlier. He would have gotten the Nexus pushing out sooner, and Tucking putting down his own Nexus while he was pushing out. Because if you are going to be doing a 4-gate and you are going to be pushing out at the optimal time, because what you want to be doing when you have your 4-gate, you want to get your 4-gate finished at about the 540 mark, and by the time that's already finished, you want to have a pylon being warped in right here, so that the moment it is done, it's like at about the 6-minute mark, and you warp in the unit composition you need, 4 units. So usually the build order is for before you get the actual warp tech, you want to pump out a Zealot at 18 supply, and then at 22 supply you want to pump out a Stalker to basically stop any scouting probes, or if in case a Zealot, if he does rushes with Zealots, you can use the Stalker to stop attack, and just basically kite the Zealots around, so he can't really do any damage while all your other buildings are completed. So with the pylon here, you would have had a Stalker and a Zealot already, and then 4 more units, which is 6 units, which against a Protoss you should warp in about 2 Zealots and 2 Stalkers. So you'll have 4 Stalkers and 3 Zealots, which is enough to basically ruin the day of any other player, as long as they aren't prepared for the 4-gate. But most players are used to Protoss going for a 4-gate, so you will need to be prepared for that. So what we saw here was Tucking getting his 4-gate out a lot quicker than Justin, so that's the reason why he had more units, and Justin kind of failing on the 4-gate build order there. So a good PvP, Justin failing also on the Nexus. So yeah, don't forget to comment, thumbs up, and subscribe if you are not subscribed, and I will catch you guys on the flip side.